As a 55-year-old woman, I am reminded almost daily that most people, when they get my age, are incredibly angry at their life's choices and where their lives end up. Like, when I am out and I am dealing with other people that are my age, right around my age, so I'm gonna say 50 to about 65, a lot of those people lives are in shambles, and it is because of decisions that they made when they were younger, and they are incredibly unhappy. And when they interact with people who are either happy because they're like, this is how it is and this is just how it is, and they made peace with their choices, or are doing much better than them, they are resentful and envious and just miserable people to be around.
Some of the old wisdom that came up was you're going to be a lot older before you become a lot younger. And as time passes, it started making more sense, especially when you get to Gen X status and you start looking around you. People have already checked out because the finances and their health done caught up to them. And you get to that point where you're reflecting on your own choices and you have gone through a crucible of your own. This is not always a fault of choices you made. It's circumstances. Now you could make things worse, absolutely. But if you are projecting that, that's what people don't want to be around. It's like, we knew what it was going to be as we got older. We have parents or grandparents. We knew people in the community that was going through some stuff. Did you ever ask yourself how they got to that situation? Or did you just keep it pushing? I think it's just important that we start focusing on financial literacy, especially in this community right now at this age and this time, because you never know what's going to happen to you going forward.
Most black men don't even want to be in love if they don't got no money. Like, I've seen a lot of men just get into grind time, you know what I mean? I gotta get it mode because they're just like, I'm not worthy enough to be in love. Are you a black man that resonate with this? I'm creating a space where we can actually talk about these things and then get to some solutions. But right now, I'm building an audience so that I can, be a representative of what we would like to communicate.
And that's from the brother TJ News over on TikTok. I'm gonna go ahead and link his address in my description down below. But definitely, what do you think about what he said? I'm like really resonating with that because real talk, dating has become so transactional. It becomes another financial burden for most black men. They just ain't feeling it. And the talk is about, well, black men don't approach because black men are out here struggling just like you are. So whenever we hear people say, "Oh, you ain't buying a drink," that brother may be on his last. But the thing about it, and I have a cousin that's once said this. I'm gonna act the same way whether I got my last $2 in my pocket or I got a bunch of money in my pocket. I'm not gonna switch up. And a lot of brothers humble themselves when you out here. You know what your motion is at that level. Especially if you're in grind mode, you probably not going to put yourself in a line of fire when it comes to that because dating has become so transactional. Whether you are 25 or 55, you just got to stay in your lane. And knowing that that's coming and that the fact that the expectation is that you're going to pay for everything, it may not be within that budget. Don't be no fool just because you want to try to impress somebody or somebody catch your eye. And another thing, typically when you are focusing in grind mode and you try to add a little extra nookie on the side, what usually happens is the nookie kind of takes a hit because you're so focused on the money, or your money takes a hit because you're focused on the nookie. You can't let that trip you up when you're trying to get your money right or your relationships right.
I saw this picture come across my timeline that was stating that over 500,000 black men have lost their jobs since November of 2025. So as a public health professional, naturally I decided to do some extra digging. So I went to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Federal Reserve because they still have their data publicly available, and here's what I found. The overall civilian unemployment rate currently is 4.4%, which sounds pretty stable, right? But that number is an average, and averages tend to hide who's actually taking the hit. In May 2025, the unemployment rate in the black community was sitting at 6.1%. As of February 2026, that rate had jumped up to 7.7%. Let's take a moment to think about that. This isn't just a gap, this is a canyon. To put in perspective, there are approximately 20.5 million black people who are employed in the US. 7.7% of that is roughly 1.6 million people out of work. That's larger than the entire city of Philly. For black men specifically, it's been fluctuating between 7% and 8.4% as of early 2026.
8% unemployment is nasty work, and there's just no getting around it. And thank you to the Doge Commission for cutting all those jobs, because in addition to the black men numbers, we already knew that over 400,000 African American women lost their jobs last year due to the cuts in Doge, starting at the beginning of last year and all the way into this year. So what we're seeing here is just an extension of some policies that's been in place in this country for a long time. You do not get to double the unemployment at a particular time for a particular group of people without somebody putting their finger on the scale. There is some mischief going on, and this is why we need to become more financially literate. And we just can't simply boycott our way out of this financial trouble. This channel is dedicated to getting your money right. We're going to teach you different things on how to use these applications. The same applications you're using on that phone to view this content with, we teach you how to use computer programs and applications to get your money right, especially the exchanges. There is so many opportunities with this computer that you can do to help augment your income while you're searching for a job. You cannot just sit around and just wait for someone to come save you. You got to save yourself.